he is so hypersexual. I'm not talking like 2-3 times a day. I'm talking 5 to 8 times a day. Also, he's just sexually explicit in all the wrong ways. I had recently an uncle who got sick, and he was in the hospital, and he was not doing well, and so I was crying on the couch. Like, I was messed up about it. His way of comforting me was to grab a boob. It was a boob grab for comfort. I tried to explain to him that that's not what I needed right now, and I just needed a hug and some comfort and to be told that it would be okay. But apparently that's not what he thought was the way to show affection in that case.
You wrote something here that I don't understand. It's something about him screaming at children in the ice cream line. Could you explain that to me? And then we'll go on to the compatibility tests and move on from there, but I did need to understand that.
Yeah. We went to his friend's wedding, and this is when this was our first trip together. We'd been together maybe 4 or 5 months. He's like, hey, come to my friend's wedding up in Washington, where I'm from. Okay. We're on a road trip. We get there, and we're hanging out with one of his friends, who is now one of my good friends, and we're in an ice cream shop. Of course, there are children in an ice cream shop. They're throwing a ball. They're having fun. It's summertime. This one gets livid and starts mumbling under his breath about, well, kids can't be doing this in places like this because it's a public place, and they're going to hit somebody with that ball.
He didn't throw boob in there, did he?
He may as well have. But it gets to the point where he's yelling at these kids. He's like, you can't do this in here. You need to get out of here. And then he turns to the parents, and then we're ushering him out of the door because he's about to get stuff thrown at him or hit with a bag or any of these things.
Mr. Branham, did you get upset in the ice cream shop because the children were acting up?
I call them like I see them. If you're acting wrong, I'm going to tell you that you're acting wrong. Now, I understand it's an ice cream shop. It's a place that's geared towards families and children, and, children are, jovial and all that. But throwing balls in a food establishment is just poor behavior. I don't care if you're 5 or 25 or 55. It's just poor behavior, and it's poor parenting because the parent should have had better control of their children to teach them not to throw the ball in the shop.
Mr. Branham, I find you odd.
Yes. You're not the first judge.
But you are absolutely right on that point. I think we as parents in this generation have dropped the ball. I could no more throw a ball or act up in an ice cream shop than the man in the moon. My parents would have given too much of the making Johnny happy. Johnny don't need to be happy all the time. He ought to be glad he's getting any ice cream at all. He didn't need to behave himself. Sit down.
Exactly.
Quit bothering the other patrons. I'm with you on that one, Mr. Brown. Now, I wouldn't have said anything, but I'm with you.
I have no shame. That's just what it comes down to. I have no shame.
Well, you don't have any boundaries is what you don't have.
This is also true.
I think that's what everything that has been said about you between the sex and the cats and the anger, all of that indicates, and the cookies that you couldn't stop eating. You have no boundaries. And so everything, you bubble over the top of everything, which is probably annoying the crap out of her. I want to say one thing seriously, though, that concerned me about your compatibility test. In your compatibility test, you mentioned the word anger 3 times with respect to him. You want him to stop being angry. You need to control his anger. One of the things that really bothers you about him is how frequently and how angry he gets. And you in your papers didn't say anything about having an anger issue at all. And normally when something is so prominent to one party, at least the other party has an inkling that he may have an issue there. Do you think you have an anger issue?
I don't really think that I have an anger issue. I think that most of society has an issue tolerating things, is what it is that people are too tolerant in society of bad behavior, and they're not tolerant enough of people calling out bad behavior.
Uh-oh, Mr. Branham, you got supporters.
And that's where a lot of my anger comes from, is that I'm out and about in public and I'm dealing with people that are behaving poorly.
Are you chastising everybody as they walk along because you don't believe they're behaving in a manner that is appropriate?
Maybe like 7 out of 10.
Mrs. Robertson, is his anger, in fact, a social response, or is it something that you see in the context of your relationship?
Oh, for the most part, it's a social response. He's never angry with me, but being out in public with him when he's calling people out on their issues is really embarrassing. Really embarrassing.
I don't shout at her or raise a hand or anything like that. I just don't like other people.
He's just mean to...
Typically, at some juncture during this process, I ask both parties to tell me why they love each other, because they've usually spent the rest of the process telling me why they can't stand one another. And I try to balance that with finding some reasons why I should give them their license back, because they're doing nothing but complaining. And indeed, you two have done nothing but complain. Having said that, I will say this. Y'all dig each other. You enjoy how odd he is. You enjoy how beautiful she is. She gets your sense of humor. She's just as funny as you are, just in a different way. She puts up with how odd and weird you are, and she kind of like, she gets into it, and you two have a similar intellect. You have a similar sense of humor. And now, Mr. Branham, I'm worried about you just a little bit. And I'm just going to put this out there, and I want you to hear me so you can understand where I'm coming from. Mr. Branham, you're playing a lot. And it's fun to play. It really is. But sometimes you run into people out in the world that aren't playing. And if you're playing and they're not playing, there's an opportunity for gross misunderstanding.
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And if your woman tells you, yo, man, he's not playing, I want you to hear her, because she's trying to protect you from yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? That's number one.
Fair enough.
Number two, when you get married, the woman is in charge of health care. She's the chief medical officer. And what she says in the healthcare field goes. So if she tells you don't eat that 13th cookie, put it down.
All right.
So Ms. Robertson, I'm going to hand you this marriage certificate. I want you to take this man, hold his hand, kiss his cheek, and keep him off the streets. This matter is adjourned.
Okay, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Drop your comments respectfully, so that we can have a very meaningful conversation towards these topics. Thank you, and I'll definitely see you in another video. Peace.